Welcome back, everybody. I do not know how to use a Zippo, by the way. Complete fire hazard. Welcome back to Super Geeks,
where the geeks are super and the supers become geeks. We're all accepting.
Except if you like feet stuff. We're not accepting of foot fetishes.
That's just, I don't know where that came from, but okay.
Anyways,
let's just go into the review. As you see in the title, this is spoiler, so watch it if you want. Don't. Watch it later if you want. Let's get into the ratings.
So,
we're gonna, with out of 10, what do you give it?
Comparing it to the other movies, right?
Yeah. As a movie, no, do it.
As a movie as a whole, I thought it was I thought it was a good 8.5.
Okay.
The reason I wouldn't put it at a 9 or a 10, a lot of the cameos I feel like were underplayed. And I feel like they rushed through a lot of their appearances,
Okay.
because this was supposed to be the whole tie it all together from Fox, the end story of it. And I like the way they did it, hands down. I like the way they did it. They referenced Fox a lot with the in the void having the Fox logo thing there. Yeah. Bringing a lot of the characters and mentioning them out there. I thought that was really cool, but I feel like they definitely downplayed a lot of those characters, or they didn't give them enough love and screen time, you know.
But I'd say it's an 8 because it was hilarious. It was very action packed. It very much is a Deadpool and Wolverine style movie. But for a movie itself, it lacked. For the villain, it lacked for me. And
Cassandra Nova.
Yeah, and the motivation, it was there, but I don't think it was executed well. And I think every movie, the villain pretty much can make or break what you see as the heroes and who they become and their progress and who they are. That's heavily can be dependent on the villain and how they go about in the whole movie. So I think that's where it lacked mostly in. But overall, if you're there just to see Deadpool and Wolverine galore and just fan out because it's just Deadpool and Wolverine, you will be satisfied. But if you're there to hear a real movie with a real villain and real motivation, all this stuff, it's
well, yeah, so
it's fabricated.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they downplayed Cassandra Nova.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, her displaying her power stuff, amazing display. She definitely showed her insane qualities. But thinking about how comic book accurate she was, look wise, yeah, almost dead on. But motivation wise, they were kind of lacking. I mean, her ties to Charles Xavier needed to be more I guess more refined.
Yeah.
But granted, they did the whole thing where she was ripped from the timeline, the sacred timeline, as a child, so she couldn't define that stuff. So I get it, but from if you're if you want to just see a comic book movie, this is a great comic book movie. Never gonna downplay that. Amazing costumes, amazing fight scenes. Definitely play true to the way these characters are.
Yeah.
But compared to what Marvel has done in the past, right? And compared to what they should be doing going forward, we gotta think about Endgames. You gotta think about Thor: Love and Thunder. Those movies. The villain was fully defined, and their motive was there. You can agree with them. Even Black Panther. Black Panther. What's his name?
Killmonger.
Killmonger, but his alter ego is Golden Jaguar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Golden Jaguar and Gore, the Butcher, right? The God Butcher. You can agree with them in a spec. I think Marvel does a really good job of the villain's never fully wrong. You kind of see their perspective, but they didn't not to say they didn't do that, but Cassandra Nova, you couldn't really see her full motive here. Mm-hmm. So her being the villain, that's her role. She's a villain. It happens.
Yeah, it honestly, villain wise, Cassandra Nova played a part where it was it very much gave we don't know who else should be here.
Yeah.
And so let's just do a throwaway character. It felt like a throwaway character.
Which, if she's a throwaway character, that's insane. She's such a good fucking character.
She is really good. Here's my problem with her, though. In the beginning act of the movie, when you first see her, she does a move on. We'll talk about the cameos, but she does a move on one of the heroes and kills them instantly, right? And then never does it again and allows Deadpool, Wolverine, and his team to get as close as they do to her without even attempting to push them back, or like she's very much displayed as like, I can snap my fingers and everybody here is dead. My problem with that is that they're so strong, like when they don't do that and when they're in a threatful situation, there is no justification for it. Like it seems like you're just like, like we can't have her kill all the characters right now, so let's just make her seem like she's interested in having them this close. But
Yeah.
it's like, then why did you display such a degree of power so early on and then just be like, yeah, we're never gonna do that again?
They might have been trying to play up her like insanity, like she like wants to like see them attempt to get there, which like I definitely understand, because Cassandra Nova in the comics and stuff like that, compared to like Charles's sanity, she's definitely like borderline like Joker, right? But she's so methodical with everything she does, that's like her letting someone get that close where they shot her. Spoiler, don't care. Just read the fucking title.
But
that's really ridiculous. Especially who shot her. That was really dumb. Instead of displaying his power.
And that's my problem with it, is that she's displayed as such a, they straight up call her an Omega level threat, right? But she does her Omega levelness literally in the first act and then never does it again, And that's my problem with having, because you could have used Cassandra Nova, but acknowledge like the characters that you have that can go against her. Like you would have need a Jean Grey. You would have needed a Charles Xavier. You would have needed a Magneto.
Or Scarlet Witch. You could have brought Scarlet Witch right back into the role.
Those are people like, oh, okay, yeah, I believe that these can actually go against them. Or, if she did the attack on Wolverine and Deadpool, like rip their skin off the way she did to the other character, show that they can regenerate, so that it's like, oh, well, her attacks aren't, they're not effective on them. So she abandoned that idea. Like, justify why she's not doing what she did earlier to easily end the fight, Yeah, that's my problem with it, really, the villain. In the whole movie, the villain's the only thing I have a problem with, honestly.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that, I definitely agree. I think with the way the writing was, I think she portrayed the character amazingly, right? Like, I think, acting wise, like, you can't put this on the actor. It is more in the writing.
Yeah, it's the writing. That's what I mean. Like,
like, I don't even know the actor's name. I'm not good with actors or actresses, but you did great. I definitely think you killed it. I felt it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the writing for you could have been better. I hope that since X-Men is now roped in, I hope that they can pull Cassandra back.
Yeah.
Bring like an actual timeline Cassandra, and like give her that connection with Professor X and have her literally try destroying his life from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
From like the Marvels, we've seen that Beast and all them are on a different universe, so we have the X-Men now.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving forward into like what's next, cameos, right?
No, let's talk about the good. I think
the good.
Did a lot of negativity. Let's talk about what was good about the movie.
Good things. The suits were immaculate.
Suits,
so good.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10 on all the suits.
Oh my god, I couldn't
beautiful.
Even the suits they brought back from Fox.
Yeah.
Like the old style suits, I love seeing those again. Yeah. I love seeing the Blade's suit.
Mm-hmm.
It got touched up a little bit, so it's kind of like newer. That looked amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my god, I live for that.
The suits and the fights. The fights were fun.
Awesome.
Absolutely amazing, fun, dynamic, different. Oh my god, it was entertaining to watch. Every fight, every suit, and every joke. Practically, I think every joke pretty much hit. I think
I think that how in 1 and 2 there was some jokes that you're like, okay, you didn't have to do that one.
Yeah.
This one it was the perfect dynamic of what Wolverine and Deadpool are in the comics.
Yeah.
So you'll see on the Instagram posts and stuff like that, I'm wearing a shirt that says, does this make us best buds? Deadpool saying that's Wolverine, and Wolverine's like, nope. Like that was their dynamic. Perfectly straightforward the entire time. It showed Wolverine as an alcoholic, that like he didn't want to be relied on stuff. That is the classic Wolverine before he fully accepted he was an X-Men. His suit was perfect. We got the yellow and brown suit, which is that's his old school hunter suit from I think it was like the 80s. Someone correct me.
This one
it's right here. So this is one of the vinyl collection ones. We got to see that. We got to see a glimpse of that old Incredible Hulk. Oh my god, I would love to see him again.
So let's go into cameos then right now.
Yeah, oh my god, since we're doing cameos, fuck yeah.
Let's talk about it. First cameos that we see, obviously, I think is the Edward Norton.
Yeah, we see a little bit of him.
It's not confirmed that it was Edward Norton, but we see the Hulk.
Yeah, and like we haven't seen a Hulk like that since him.
It's a few seconds. Yeah. Don't expect a full-blown fight scene or anything. It's like, you're about to fight the Hulk. Wolverine's about to fight the Hulk. Then Deadpool gets slapped out of the way, and then it's over. That's all it is. Yep. It's nothing crazy.
Cameos that people already knew about. So we already knew Elektra was coming back.
Yeah, Elektra. Jennifer Gardner's Elektra is back.
We got Blade. We got OG
Wesley
Blade. Wesley Snipes Blade. Even though people said that he wasn't gonna come back.
Yeah.
Because Wesley Snipes was like arguing with or he wasn't in a good agreement with higher ups in Marvel or whatever. But he came back and he killed that shit.
No,
I loved having him back as Blade.
It was awesome.
We got Daphne Keane as Laura X-23 back again.
She was back. And we had Henry Cavill play a cameo as Wolverine.
And that actually, so we'll get into this more later about the future of what may happen, but that was beautiful.
That was nice.
That was beautiful.
That was nice.
We had what's his name?
Channing
Tatum playing fucking
Gambit. He played Gambit.
Oh
and I understood. So something that I realized is that not many people understood why he was playing Gambit. If you don't know, he was slated to have a solo Gambit movie years ago, but it kept getting pushed back, and then it finally got canceled, and he never got to play the character. It was supposed to be a solo Gambit movie.
Yeah,
he never got the opportunity, and they definitely reference it a lot.
Yeah,
in the thing as a running joke, the fact that he's in the void, he doesn't know where he started from. He thinks he was born there. He's like, I never got my opportunity. They say it a lot, and I think we also had Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Oh my! All right, let's talk about Johnny. Johnny. Amazing, because everyone's been wondering from the very beginning what happened to that Fantastic Four, what happened to that X-Men, what happened to these groups from Fox, right? Now we know these motherfuckers went to the void, and Johnny was the last fucking survivor from that main group. You know, we got references to Ben Affleck's Daredevil. We had Magneto. We had Professor X's chair. What's his name? Sir Patrick Stewart's chair was right, Sandra Nolan was sitting in it. We had Juggernaut, Toad, Pyro. We had Psylocke.
Sabretooth. The classic Sabretooth.
We had both. If you didn't notice in the drive, both of them were there.
Were they?
Yeah, the one from the Wolverine movie or whatever, when it goes into Wolverine's past. Yeah. So he was there. He was in one of the cars, but he just doesn't jump out.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought that was really cool, as a quick glimpse and stuff like that.
If you see if you end up seeing in the background, you will see a bullseye.
Yep.
Designed like the what's it?
From the Daredevil movie back.
I forgot the actor's name. He's a great actor. He's playing the Penguin now, but he's designed with the whole marking on the forehead and everything. It's just a black actor that plays him.
Yeah.
In that one, he's in the background. I think those were all the villains really that they had that I remember seeing.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one who was supposed to be the Blob.
Earlier when he was pulling.
Yeah, if the Blob lost weight, it was pretty much the Blob.
I think that kind of is reference to... So Gambit and the Blob are all references back to when that failed Wolverine movie that Ryan Reynolds first was in. So those are all references to that movie. So for those of you that don't know, Channing Tatum, like Freddie was talking about, he was slated to play him in 2009, right? When that Wolverine movie was coming out, that solo Wolverine movie, and it was gonna be kind of a spin off like of his own thing, kind of showing the thieves and stuff like that. And the Blob was gonna be in it because the Blob plays a big part in like handling like that type of security and stuff like that. So seeing them kind of oppose each other is kind of dope, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, and then outside of that, you see the Ant-Man skeleton that he's dead, and
you get hint that Doctor Strange died because Cassandra Nova has one of his rings.
Yeah. Magneto also referenced to be dead. James, a bunch of Charles Xavier's dead.
Punisher
was referenced.
The Punisher, all 5 of them were referenced.
Yeah. Punisher was referenced. Who else? Reed Richards was referenced.
Freaking the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan was not referenced, but like in the end they are clipped in there, so like they are tied into like that being done and stuff like that.
The whole end credit scene was a tribute to all the 20th Century Fox films that they have done, like just behind the scenes of that. Who else was they referenced Daredevil being dead.
Punisher, Daredevil, Magneto. I think that's everyone that they had for the Resistance side that they mentioned right away. Quicksilver. Oh yeah, they mentioned Quicksilver that was dead.
Yeah. So that was a reference. Not, I don't think any of them really showed up.
No, none of them showed up. They were all food for life.
And then you get all the Deadpools.
Yeah, so the Deadpool core. For my diehard Deadpool fans, we got the Deadpool core. We had the fat Deadpool, we had the samurai Deadpool, we had the ninja Deadpool, we had Lady Deadpool. Blake Lively, you killed that shit. Love you. Yeah. Oh my god.
Blake Lively is definitely Lady Deadpool. You see it in the end credit scenes. Yep. You don't see her face, you don't see anything like that, but you do see her in the costume and everything.
Yep. I thought that was amazing.
That's everything, I believe. Everything that was Dogpool, absolutely. But I think that's pretty much everything in cameo wise that came through the big screen. I don't think I'm missing anything else. They do a lot of references.
There's references. So TVA, for those of you that don't know, that security guard or that TVA member, whatever that became president of TVA, she made an appearance. I think that's the last like cameo that we could really talk about.
And then they show clips of the Avengers. They show a far distant future.
Happy
Hogan's in there.
Happy Hogan made an appearance.
And they show a far distant future where Deadpool looks like he's dying within Thor's hands. Yeah. So
why is Thor crying?
And that's like a continuous thing. So I don't know what that would be in reference to. It seems like a little gag joke, but it might be something that happens later on. That's what it seems like it was meant to be for. But next thing we'll step into will be what we wanted to see after watching the movie.
Personally, what I wanted to see is I wanted them to bring back Jean. I wanted to see more of the X-Men from like the Fox Studios. Like the OG X-Men. I want to see them suit up one more time. Like we talked about this after the movie.
What's something you would have changed in the movie? Like
easily I would have the people who helped him, like I love having Gambit there. That was a great reference. I would have got rid of Elektra. I'm sorry, I didn't need you there. In your place, I would have had Cyclops.
Okay.
Cause I definitely think having a Cyclops and Wolverine dynamic, that's like, that would be amazing. And because Wolverine's the entire movie, he's dealing with the grief of them dying. So for him to see them, and feel like, oh, I could save them, but like that's not his Cyclops no more. I feel like that would have been a really good thing. Either that or having Jean step in for Elektra.
Yeah.
I definitely wish that they would have fixed Magneto's family. Because they would have brought Scarlet Witch back for somehow if they would have worked it where she's Magneto's daughter, like, the way it was meant to be, Marvel.
Yeah.
I definitely think that would have been greatly loved by the fans. Because like moving forward with the X-Men, knowing they're in a different universe, that could open the door to Scarlet Witch versus the Phoenix, and all this other stuff. Other than that, I think that the only thing I would have wanted is a longer fight between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
Yeah, that is very quick. That actually surprised me how quick.
Yeah, that was way too fast. Way too fast. I disliked that. And I was hoping. I mean, Daphne Keen's what, a teenager, right?
Yeah.
So
oh no, she's got to be in her
early 20s.
Yeah, I think
early
so.
20s or something like that. Like so yeah, she's like probably a little bit younger than us, just like a year or two. So I definitely think that Daphne Keene, she was great. Oh, someone we missed in the cameos. She's another Wolverine clone, but her nail.
Oh yeah, the long nails lady.
I feel she's not X-23, even though in the movies, we used to think she was X-23 back
That
then.
was in X-Men Origins.
No, that's X-Men 2.
Or Wolverine.
No, that's X-Men 2.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because they went to the facility where Wolverine was made.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's where Jean like fake dies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was in it, and it was cool seeing her too. I wanted her and X-23 to fight.
Yeah, that would have
been a showdown because she gave Wolverine a run for his money back then.
Yeah.
So them two fighting would have been like, who's his actual daughter? You know, who's the better clone?
Okay, so for me, I agree. I did want to see a comic book accurate Cyclops for sure. But I understand leaving the rest of the X-Men out. I get it. I know why, it's for Wolverine and his whole grief and everything. But I would have definitely added more personnel, if not just one more person that I wanted to see that joined their group of bandits in the Void would have been Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah.
Wanted to see him pull up. I would have scrapped the whole Cassandra Cain or not. Yeah, Cassandra Nova. I would have scrapped the whole Cassandra Nova being the villain, and changed it to Edward Norton's Hulk, and he would have been more like Maestro. He would have been, Maestro. Yeah, he would have been more like Maestro, and his whole dynamic would be that he creates the Void as his planet, so we get a reference of like Planet Hulk, like World War Hulk, and all everybody that's around him pretty much follows him because you would have to fight him if not.
You know who would be cool as the villain? Now that I'm hearing you say that, the leader, he would have been a cool villain.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but like when I think about the villain, I think about this movie and what they were doing. It seems like they were taking a lot of 20th Century Fox stuff and just being like, all of that's in the Void, pretty much. We voided all of that. So I know Edward Norton's not part of the 20th Century Fox, but it would have been cool to be like, oh, this guy from Disney that was forgotten by Disney, aside from War Machine, the first actor to play War Machine. But this guy, Edward Norton, being Maestro in there and acting as like a world breaker Hulk, pretty much.
Oh my god, that would have been
just running the Void as his own area, his own playpen, and whoever comes there fights. And and if they lose, he collects like their stuff. So you would have saw the collection of like the Doctor Strange ring and
Cap
Cyclops,
shield.
Cap shield, Cyclops,
his visor,
the Fantastic Four suits, all that stuff.
They were driving a Fantastic Four car.
Yeah, they were driving the classic Fantastic Four car. But that's what I would have changed, but made that the main villain so that Deadpool and Wolverine are like, well, we need to get one of the items, right?
Yeah.
To end up to get back to the TVA, right? And the only way they get it is if they beat the Hulk right there, the Edward Norton Hulk. And that you would have saw the Wolverine versus the Hulk fight. And then the biggest thing they do is that they bring in like the Void Squad, right? And to watch like all of them take on Hulk at the same time with Ghost Rider as well, like riding around, like wrapping him in chains. It would have been more believable in the idea that, oh, these guys can take them down,
Yeah.
that they can, that this Hulk can be taken down by these heroes when they're all pretty much jumping him, right? It would have been more believable in that way, which would have taken away the fact that I didn't like that Cassandra Nova was Omega level threat, but never really did anything Omega except for ripping off Johnny Storm's skin.
Yeah, hashtag rest in peace, my dude Johnny.
Yeah.
But he did talk a lot of shit.
Yeah. And so that would have been my biggest change. So then they jump back to the TVA and stop that whole thing with the same way that they stop it, you know, connecting with each other, all that stuff. I would have kept that. It's just the people that would be surrounding the Hulk, I would say, instead of being like all those villains that were there, would just be a bunch of, because obviously you got to think about budgeting wise, right? And you have to pay every single one of those like actors that were there. I would have just had it been the Deadpool core that surround the Hulk, Edward Norton's Hulk.
Even if we wanted like Maestro. Even if you wanted those cameos, still you could have had them be part of like the people trying to oppose Hulk. Yeah. Because like you gotta think about it. Juggernaut's like alone is not taking on the Hulk. Yeah. Like he's not. Especially that version of Juggernaut. Yeah. You are getting tossed, my guy. Yeah. Like your legs got caught. And that's something I'm pissed off about actually, now that I think about it. You're supposed to be indestructible. Mm-hmm. You got cut by X-23. Yeah. But what the fuck happened? Yeah. No, and but that's what I mean, right? You take these people who have a reputation of like, you know, this is who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be taking out all this stuff. And then you nerf them for the sake of the story to continue forward, right? Yeah. You could have just had the one big bad, right? Which would have, in what I see, would have been Edward Norton's Hulk as Maestro, right? Because in the end of that Hulk universe, he learned how to be one. It's teased that he knows how to be one with the Hulk, pretty much, like that. He has more control over the power. So with that, then he becomes Maestro, and he's sent to the void, and he takes on every new person, every new hero or villain that comes into the void. He takes them on, and every time he beats them, he'll take a piece of them. That way, when Deadpool and Wolverine go looking to how to get back, they see the gallery of all the stuff of all the heroes. That would have been really cool, and that gives me like a very big like Ultron vibe. Yeah. So like even if they didn't want to do Hulk, like if they did an Ultron in there, but like he like fucked up the multiverse, that would be insane. Like, you know, like that would actually be like next level. Like what if Ultron won? And what if he won in there? Right. And like maybe that's why Edward Norton's Hulk was replaced. Like you know what you were just saying. Like he got control. Imagine, you know how like the TVA like kind of prunes you and stuff like that if you differ. So they pruned him because he was merging with the Hulk, and it was way too early for him to do that. Yeah. So like I could definitely understand like that move forward. So for all you haters that are like, oh, you know, Incredible Hulk this, Incredible Hulk that. Yes, I'm with you. I love the Incredible Hulk. I want the Incredible Hulk too. Yeah. So does little Pookie over here. But he was pruned for a reason. So that's what I think. I think I would have went with that direction. I would have added Ghost Rider, and then I would have took out all the villains that were there and put in the Deadpool core that works around Maestro's Hulk. And that would have been long. Yeah. And that would have been an insane fight. Much. That would have been nonstop. Like imagine Gambit just throwing fucking cars nonstop. Yeah. Because they're just gonna re-heal. And Hulk just continuously like he's taking and it's pretty much like a Thunderdome style thing, and that's how I would have went about it. But I did like the movie a lot for everything else that it did. It did pay homage. Yeah, it paid homage a lot to all the other stuff that went on in Fox and everything. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I think it was fun. If I were to change anything, that's what I would have did. That would have allowed a budget a little bit more to create a Hulk at all times type of thing. Or like that big Hulk, not like the Professor Hulk. We always needed to have like somewhere in the universe that like kind of like ballistic, Incredible Hulk. Yeah. So that's what Freddie's talking about. He's not talking about like cutting the Hulk like and replacing him in the universe stuff. No, like, and if not Edward Norton's Hulk, then the one that played the Hulk in the first movie, I forget the actor, but In what first movie?
The first Hulk movie.
Oh, well, every time he got angry, he got bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not Edward Norton's Hulk, then that one.
That
But
was a
a
cool
Hulk that controls the void, you know. Yeah, everything was good to me.
Definitely, it was just like small critiques.
Yeah.
But like even that, we can't even be fully mad about it.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth the watch.
Absolutely.
And
let's look up the future after all of this. The future of Deadpool and Wolverine.
So
up in the air, really.
Yeah, it's really up in the air. Like I like when we talked about in the last Deadpool video before we watched the movie and stuff. We didn't know if Marvel was gonna do a good job with this movie with Deadpool and stuff. We didn't know if they're gonna nerf him the way like he was censored and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, he did amazing. The only thing that was cut off was cocaine.
And all the what I did notice, they didn't reference it, but all the like real life like sex scenes and
oh yeah, those were cut back.
Yeah, there is no sex scenes. There is no anybody's like.
But the jokes are still there.
Ass naked or anything like that.
The jokes are still there.
Yeah, the jokes are still very funny, very raunchy, very R-rated, very all of that. There's just no reference to drugs and no actual sex. Like, scenes.
So like, which is fine because like in the comic books you gotta think about like Deadpool doesn't really there are scenes like that but it's not like his entire plot.
Yeah, and it seemed like they were getting away from it because in the Deadpool 2 I don't think there was any sex scenes either. Yeah, so I think he makes reference to a lot of sexual stuff, but there is no like nudity. There isn't really any nudity in the
unless
movie.
you look at Hugh Jackman shirtless.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's about it as far as it gets. Like, so I think it's a really good. I can see the direction. They're definitely upping the jokes to replace showing drugs.
Yeah.
Or to replace showing like actual naked people. You know.
I think that they're bringing more of a comic book accurate look to this.
Yeah.
While still making it their own. You know, like we can't like just up straight like make the comic books exactly like this with the way the universe is going. With the future of Deadpool, I think that we have the potential to see an X-Force come back to life from like was it the second movie, right?
Second movie.
Right.
But I think, and honestly, it seems like because when they end the movie, he's back in his own universe.
Mm-hmm.
He travels when he meets Happy Hogan. He travels to the main universe.
Yeah.
Like he goes to Earth. What they say is Prime Earth is 616. That's Prime Earth in the Marvel universe. They have made it very clear.
Yeah.
So, but after he gets rejected to join the Avengers, he goes back to his universe, right? And that's the universe that's in jeopardy of being pruned. Where when he meets the TVA, they're like, we can just send you to 616 and you can just live in that Earth. And but we have to get rid of yours. He ends up saving his and he goes back there with Wolverine. So it's Deadpool and Wolverine are in their
which is universe 1006.
Yeah. So they're in their own universe. They're still not in
they're still not
Prime,
mainstream.
Yeah, they're still not in the Prime Marvel universe.
Yeah, so things we gotta think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know X-Men First Class is in Deadpool's universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was confirmed the first movie, unless it's been changed to now incorporate the new Beast and the new X-Men that we're gonna be seeing going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Which may be the case, right? But so far what we know is we have 3 universes completely confirmed. We have Deadpool's universe, which so far encompasses the X-Men. We have our mainline universe, which has the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a third universe, which is going to encompass the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Bringing it back to like Agatha and stuff like that. Agatha, I'm pretty sure is going to be a whole different universe as well.
Yeah.
So that will bring us to 4. So they're doing a really good job of spreading out the multiverse and like kind of showing you these things do exist. But I don't know how they're going to like tie it together because I know Kevin Feige said that this is going to be the opening to like how X-Men and mutants are like kind of portrayed in Marvel. So like for the future of Wolverine, we know that X-23 is around still. Yeah. So I think she's going to be the one taking up the mantle of Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think he's going to start kind of falling back into that old man Logan phase and just training her and being like, that mentor, which I think will be really cool if we got to see more of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Just kind of surrounding like the young generation. So if we've seen a young Bobby Drake, if we've seen like Jean Grey, because like we have the only X-Men we've seen was like Colossus and I forget that good girl Sonic Nova, Supernova, whatever.
Sonic Teenage,
yes,
whatever.
Yeah, Sonic Teenage Warheads. Sonic
Yeah.
Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, Sonic something.
So
All
like,
the words ever.
we've only really seen them two. And that's not a great representation of the X-Men and their fighting force. So I think that with Wolverine here, now the X-Men is going to be developed in his universe. And with that, it kind of backs the idea that we talked about before, or I don't know if it'll be released. I feel like it might have. Where one of the next Avengers movies for Avenger 5 and stuff like that is going to be X-Men versus Avengers. Two different universes.
That's what we think. That's not confirmed or anything.
No, that's not confirmed, but that would be a good lead way into it.
So honestly, in summary, like, Deadpool and Wolverine technically aren't in the Marvel universe yet. They're not part of the Avengers. There was no reference of like, oh, you're now an Avenger. Oh, we're recruiting you, like a Nick Fury moment or anything like that. There is nothing like that. And from what I remember, they're in the Deadpool universe. Like, they're in where Deadpool started. They're in that universe separate from where the Avengers are, right? So they're not really. This feels like a cop out to say like, oh, if we need them,
we can get them.
We'll get them as cameos, right?
Yeah.
But they can still separately do their own thing and create their disaster in their world.
Right? Which I kind of like that because, like, you know, you got to think about, like, if we put everyone in one universe, that's too jam packed. Yeah. That's way too crowded. Like, there's a lot of questions that will raise about like where has the mutants or X-Men been, stuff like that for May's storyline and for Deadpool's storyline. Where has the Avengers been?
Yeah.
Like, Deadpool has caused a lot of fucked shit. So like, why has no one stopped him? So I think that is, I like what they're doing with that. It's kind of what James Gunn is doing with separating out DC.
Yeah.
But it has the potential, since they're opening the multiverse. They have the TVA, they have Kang, so they have the tools to make the multiverse war a reality.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that this concept of like the multiverse and stuff like that isn't far out of their reach. It's definitely in their wheelhouse. This war is definitely right there for the taking when it comes to them and what Kevin Feige can do. Especially because the Russo brothers are already confirmed to be the directors for the next Avenger movie. So we have two great directors leading the charge. The next Black Panther movie, Will Smith's confirmed to be in it.
That I don't know about.
Yeah, maybe it was a rumor. I don't know. I seen it on Instagram.
I don't know.
But I heard Will Smith's supposed to be in it. I heard they're supposed to bring back Killmonger. So
I don't know.
I think
those aren't true. Hopefully those aren't.
I mean, I hope it's true. I hope, because Will Smith's supposed to be the villain.
We'll see.
I want Killmonger to come back. There's a reason I want him to come back. But yeah.
But that's pretty much it. That's been our review. And let us know in the comments when you're going to see it and what you think. So we'll see you next time.
Batman do the white eyes.
Yeah. White eyes. White eyes for Batman.
White eyes.
They did it for Wolverine.